This person is literally not allowed to text you or have a conversation with you because, my beloved child, I know your heart feels restless when you think about this person. You keep checking your phone, wondering if a message will appear, wondering if one day they will suddenly break the silence. You replay old conversations in your mind, reading between lines that no longer exist, holding on to words that were never meant to stay. But I need you to understand something deeper than your longing, something that your soul already knows but your heart is afraid to accept. This person is not allowed to text you, not because you are unworthy, not because you are difficult to love, and not because you did something wrong. They are not allowed because I have placed a boundary that your emotions could not place on their own. When your heart was ready to run back to what was hurting you, I stepped in and closed the door that you kept trying to reopen. You see silence as rejection, but I see it as protection. You see distance as loss, but I see it as rescue. Every time you were about to send a message, every time your fingers hovered over their name, I felt the storm inside you. I saw how your peace disappeared when they appeared, how your confidence faded when their attention changed, how your joy became dependent on their response time. That is not love, my child. That is emotional captivity. You keep asking, why can they talk to others but not to me? And I whisper gently to your soul, because you are not meant to be treated like an option. Others may receive their words, but you are being saved from their confusion. Others may receive their presence, but you are being protected from their inconsistency. I am not punishing you by removing them, I am honoring you by separating you. My beloved child. You were starting to lose yourself in trying to understand them. You were changing your mood based on their behavior. When they were warm, you felt alive. When they were distant, you felt broken. Your identity was slowly becoming tied to their attention. That is why I created this silence. Not to hurt you, but to return you to yourself. I know you miss the good moments. I know you remember the laughter, the late-night talks, the feeling that someone finally understood you. Those memories feel real because your emotions were real. But memories are not always a sign of destiny. Sometimes they are simply proof that you loved sincerely, even if the connection was not meant to stay. You keep thinking that if they just talk to you one more time, you will get closure. But closure does not come from another person's words, it comes from your own acceptance. If they were meant to bring peace into your life, their presence would not have created so much confusion. If they were meant to stay, you would not have had to question your worth so often. This separation is not an accident. It is a divine redirection. You were walking toward a door that would have required you to shrink, to compromise your values, to accept less than what your heart truly deserves. I could not allow that. So I made communication difficult. I made timing wrong. I allowed misunderstandings to create distance. Not to break you, but to free you. My beloved child. You are not losing them, you are losing an illusion. You are releasing the idea that they were the only one who could understand you. You are letting go of the belief that your happiness depended on their presence. And I know that letting go feels like falling, but you are not falling. You are being carried. There is someone who will not make you question where you stand. Someone who will not disappear when things get real. Someone who will not give you mixed signals that keep your heart in confusion. But before that person can enter your life, you must learn to stand without chasing, to feel complete without waiting, to value your peace more than temporary attention. Right now, you think about them every day. That is okay. Healing is not the absence of thoughts. It is the reduction of their power over your emotions. One day you will remember them without feeling that tightness in your chest. One day their name will not create a storm inside you. One day you will look back and realize that the silence you once feared was actually the space where you found yourself again. You are not alone in this process. Every tear you have cried has been seen. Every night you felt the urge to text but stopped yourself. I was there giving you strength. Every time you chose your dignity over your desire, you took a step toward your healing, even if it did not feel like progress. My beloved child. Stop asking why they are not reaching out and start asking why you were willing to accept so little. This is not a question meant to blame you, but to awaken you. You were loving from a place of hope, but now you must learn to love from a place of self-respect. You were giving without receiving, waiting without reassurance, holding on without clarity. That pattern ends here. They are not allowed to talk to you because your soul has outgrown the lesson they were sent to teach. Their role in your life was temporary. They came to show you your capacity to love, your depth of emotion, your loyalty. But they also revealed your tendency to overgive and to stay longer than you should. The lesson is complete. The chapter is closed. Do not reopen it just because you miss the feeling. Missing someone does not mean they belong in your future. It simply means you invested your heart sincerely. And there is no shame in that. Your ability to love deeply is not your weakness, it is your strength. It only needs to be given to someone who can hold it with care. My beloved child. You keep looking for signs that they will come back, but the real sign you should look for is your own growth. Are you becoming stronger? Are you learning to enjoy your own company? Are you finding peace without needing validation? These are the signs that matter. These are the indicators that you are moving toward the life meant for you. This silence is sacred. It is creating space for your confidence to return. It is teaching you to choose yourself. It is reminding you that you do not need to chase what is meant for you. What belongs to you will come with clarity, not confusion, with consistency, not silence. With respect, not emotional uncertainty. One day you will thank this distance. One day you will see that if they had continued talking to you, you might have stayed stuck in a cycle that drained your energy. You might have kept hoping for something that was never going to become stable. You might have ignored your own needs just to keep them in your life. I did not remove them to leave you empty. I removed them to make room. Room for your self-love. Room for your purpose. Room for people who will meet you at your level instead of pulling you into emotional imbalance. My beloved child. Let this be the moment you release them with grace. Not with anger, not with resentment, but with understanding. They were a lesson, not a lifetime. They were a chapter, not the entire story. And your story is far from over. You are not being ignored, you are being guided. You are not being rejected, you are being redirected. You are not being left behind, you are being prepared. So put your phone down. Stop waiting for a message that is not aligned with your peace. Turn your attention back to your own life, your own dreams, your own healing. The love you were trying to give them is the love you must now give yourself. Because, my beloved child, the moment you stop chasing what is not meant for you is the moment what is truly meant for you begins to move closer. And I am already arranging conversations that will not confuse you, connections that will not drain you, and a love that will never make you question your worth. Trust this silence. It is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your transformation. And I am with you in every step you take away from what could not love you back, and toward the life that is finally ready to love you fully. My beloved child, I can feel that even after hearing these words, a part of you is still looking back. That is the nature of a tender heart. You do not detach in a single moment, you slowly loosen your grip on what once felt like home. And I am patient with you in this process. I am not asking you to forget them overnight. I am asking you to remember yourself again. You were not created to wait for someone's mood to decide your worth. You were not created to analyze every message, every delay, every change in tone. Your heart was designed for peace, for mutual effort, for a love that feels like rest instead of anxiety. When love becomes a place where you must constantly prove your value, it stops being love and becomes a test you were never meant to take. My beloved child, do you remember how you used to smile before this connection began to control your emotions? Do you remember how easily you laughed, how freely you dreamed, how naturally you trusted your own path? That version of you has not disappeared. That version of you is simply waiting beneath the weight of this attachment. You keep thinking that if they return, everything will feel right again. But what you are really missing is the version of yourself that existed when you felt chosen, when you felt seen, when you felt important. You associated those feelings with them, but those feelings were born from within you. They came from your capacity to love, not from their ability to give. This is why I am guiding you away. Because you must learn that your happiness cannot be outsourced. It cannot depend on someone else's consistency. It cannot be built on hope alone. It must be rooted inside you, where no silence can disturb it and no absence can shake it. My beloved child, there were moments when you ignored your intuition. Your inner voice whispered that something was not stable, that something felt one-sided, that you were giving more than you were receiving. But your heart chose to stay because you believed that patience would transform the situation. You believed that if you loved enough, they would become who you needed them to be. Love does not change someone who is not ready to change. Your effort cannot create emotional availability in a person who is still avoiding their own truth. And that is not your failure. That is simply reality. So I created distance. I allowed conversations to fade. I allowed circumstances to block communication. Not because I wanted to hurt you, but because you were not walking away on your own. And sometimes protection feels like loss until you understand its purpose. My beloved child, you are entering a season where your energy must return to you. No more checking their last scene. No more reading old chats to feel close to them. No more imagining conversations that will never happen. Every time you revisit those memories, you reopen a wound that is trying to heal. Instead, Begin to pour that energy into your growth. Speak kindly to yourself. Do things that make you feel alive again. Reconnect with the dreams you paused while you were emotionally invested in someone who could not meet you fully. Your life is not on hold because someone is absent. Your life is moving, and you must move with it. I know there are nights when the silence feels louder than any conversation. Nights when you want to break your own promise and reach out just to feel connected again. In those moments, remember how many times you felt uncertain while talking to them. Remember how often you questioned your importance. Do not romanticize what was inconsistent. My beloved child. You deserve a connection where you do not have to guess. Where communication flows naturally. Where effort is mutual. Where you are not afraid to express your feelings because you know they will be received with care. That kind of love does not require you to chase, it meets you halfway. Right now, you are being trained emotionally to recognize the difference between attachment and alignment. Attachment makes you anxious, dependent, and unsure. Alignment makes you calm, confident, and secure. What you had with them was attachment. What is coming into your life will be alignment. But you cannot receive aligned love while you are still emotionally holding on to misaligned connections. That is why this separation must remain. It is not punishment, it is preparation. My beloved child. Forgive yourself for the times you ignored your own needs. Forgive yourself for staying longer than you should have. Forgive yourself for believing potential over reality. You were learning. You were experiencing. You were growing. There is no shame in that. And forgive them too, not because they were right for you, but because holding resentment keeps you energetically tied to the past. Release them with gratitude for the lesson and with clarity that the lesson is complete. You are not empty without them. You are simply rediscovering your fullness. Look at how much stronger you have already become. There was a time when you would have sent the message without hesitation. Now you pause. Now you reflect. Now you choose your dignity. That is growth, even if it feels small. My beloved child. Very soon, you will notice a shift. The thought of them will not dominate your day. Their absence will not define your mood. You will begin to enjoy moments without relating them back to this person. That is when you will know that your healing is real. And when that moment comes, new energy will enter your life. New conversations will feel lighter. New connections will not require you to prove your worth. You will recognize the difference immediately because you will have learned what confusion feels like, and you will no longer accept it. This is why they are not allowed to text you. Because if they appeared now, your old emotions might try to convince you that nothing has changed. But you are changing. You are evolving. And what is evolving cannot return to what once limited it. My beloved child. Trust the timing of your transformation. Trust the quiet days. Trust the distance. Trust the process of becoming someone who chooses peace over temporary attention. You are not losing love. You are learning how to receive the right love. And I am guiding you toward a future where you will not be checking your phone for reassurance, where you will not be analyzing silence, where you will not be waiting for someone to remember your value. You will be living in a space where your value is recognized without explanation. So take a deep breath and release the need to understand why they could not stay. The real question is not why they left, but why you were meant to grow beyond them. Because, my beloved child, you are not being denied a conversation. You are being given a new life. My beloved child, now you are beginning to see that the silence was never empty. It was full of lessons, full of quiet strength, full of moments where you chose yourself even when your heart wanted to choose them. This is how your soul grows, not in the noise of constant communication, but in the stillness where you meet your own truth. There was a time when you believed that closure would come from one final conversation. You imagined them explaining everything, giving you the clarity you deserved, saying the words that would make the confusion disappear. But listen closely, my child, closure is not something they can give you. Closure is something you create when you stop seeking answers from the person who created the questions. You do not need their explanation to move forward. You do not need their apology to heal. You do not need their return to feel complete. Everything you were waiting for from them is already being formed within you, your strength, your clarity, your peace. My beloved child, you were not rejected. You were redirected toward yourself. Every time they failed to show up for you, it was an invitation for you to show up for yourself. Every time they remained silent, it was a reminder for you to listen to your own inner voice. Every time you felt ignored, it was a call to stop ignoring your own needs. You are learning to become the person who no longer abandons themselves for the sake of keeping someone else. And this lesson will change every future connection in your life. You will no longer chase mixed signals. You will no longer confuse inconsistency with mystery. You will no longer stay where your presence is not valued. That is the power of what you are going through right now. My beloved child, there is something beautiful happening that you cannot fully see yet. The energy you once spent worrying about them is slowly returning to you. You are thinking more about your goals, your growth, your happiness. You are starting to notice things that you ignored before, your talents, your dreams, your purpose. You are remembering that your life is bigger than one person's attention. And as you continue to reclaim your energy, your confidence will grow naturally. You will walk differently. You will speak differently. You will carry a quiet certainty that does not need validation. People will feel that change in you, and they will respond to it. But most importantly, you will feel it yourself. My beloved child, do not fear that you will never feel that connection again. You will. But next time it will not feel like anxiety. It will not feel like waiting. It will not feel like wondering where you stand. It will feel like peace. It will feel like mutual effort. It will feel like coming home without losing yourself. The love that is meant for you will not require you to shrink. It will not require you to overthink. It will not require you to prove your worth. It will meet you in your authenticity and celebrate you for who you are. That is why I had to remove what was confusing you. So you would not settle for less when the right connection appears. My beloved child, you may still have days when memories return. That is normal. Healing is not a straight path. But when those memories come, do not interpret them as a sign to go back. See them as proof of how far you have come. You can remember without needing to reconnect. You can feel without needing to reopen the door. You are no longer the person who needs their attention to feel valued. You are becoming the person who values themselves first. And that shift will protect you for the rest of your life. My beloved child. There is a future version of you who is grateful for this silence. A version of you who wakes up without checking their phone for someone's message. A version of you who laughs freely again, who trusts easily again, who loves without fear of being ignored. That version of you exists because you are choosing healing now. Every moment you resist the urge to go back, you are choosing that future. Every time you focus on your growth instead of their absence, you are building that future. Every time you remind yourself that you deserve clarity and consistency, you are becoming that future. You are not stuck. You are transforming. My beloved child. Release the belief that this was your only chance at love. It was not. It was simply your first lesson in recognizing what love is not. And that lesson is sacred, because it prepares you to recognize what love truly is when it arrives. You will not miss what is meant for you. What is aligned with your soul will not pass you by because you were healing. In fact, it will find you when you are most aligned with yourself. So continue to walk forward. Continue to choose peace over curiosity. Continue to invest in your own happiness. Let them remain in the chapter where they belong. Because your story is expanding now. My beloved child. One day, you will look back at this moment and feel compassion for the version of you who was waiting. You will not feel pain, you will feel pride. Pride that you chose dignity. Pride that you honored your worth. Pride that you trusted the silence even when it hurt. And you will realize that the person you were waiting for was never them. It was you. The confident you. The peaceful you. The self-loving you. The emotionally free you. That is who you were becoming all along. So let this be your final release. Not forced, not rushed, but gentle and real. Wish them well in your heart and turn fully toward your own path. There is nothing left for you in what once confused you. Your future is calling you with clarity, with stability, with love that does not disappear. And I am walking beside you into that future, guiding every step, protecting your peace, and reminding you every day of your true value. Because my beloved child, you were never meant to chase a conversation. You were meant to live a life where the right people are grateful to speak with you. My beloved child. You have walked so far from the place where this pain first began, even if you do not fully realize it yet. There was a time when every thought of them felt like a wound, when every memory felt like something you could not survive. But look at you now, you are still here, still breathing, still growing, still learning how to hold your own heart with gentleness. This is your strength. Not the absence of feeling, but the ability to keep moving while feeling everything. You once believed that their silence meant you were not important. But now you are beginning to understand that their silence was simply a reflection of their own limitations, not your value. A person who cannot communicate clearly will create confusion wherever they go. A person who cannot offer consistency will bring uncertainty into every connection. That was never a reflection of your worth, it was a reflection of their capacity. My beloved child, you were asking for depth from someone who was only offering fragments. You were offering loyalty to someone who was still undecided. You were ready for something real while they were still exploring something temporary. That difference was the source of your pain. And now you are learning one of the most important lessons of your life: not everyone who enters your heart is meant to stay there. Some people are experiences. Some people are mirrors. Some people are lessons. And some people are blessings that remain. Your wisdom is growing because you are learning to tell the difference. My beloved child, there is a quiet confidence forming inside you. It shows up when you stop yourself from checking their profile. It shows up when you choose to focus on your work, your studies, your goals. It shows up when you spend time with people who make you feel seen and appreciated. It shows up when you laugh without thinking about who is missing. That confidence is your true self returning. You are no longer defined by who did not stay. You are defined by how you chose to rise. And as you rise, you will notice something beautiful. The things that once triggered you will lose their power. Their name will not create the same reaction. Their memory will not control your mood. Their absence will not feel like a void. It will simply feel like space, space that you have filled with your own growth. My beloved child, do not rush this process. Healing is not a race. Some days you will feel completely free. Other days a memory will return and you will feel emotional again. That does not mean you are going backwards. It means you are human. Each wave of emotion is weaker than the last, and each time you allow it to pass without reacting, you become stronger. You are learning emotional independence. You are learning to validate yourself instead of waiting for someone else to do it. You are learning to create your own closure instead of waiting for an explanation. These are sacred skills that will protect your heart in the future. My beloved child, there will come a day when someone new enters your life and you will notice how different it feels. You will not feel the urge to overanalyze. You will not feel anxious about their response time. You will not feel the need to prove your worth. Their presence will feel calm, natural, and safe. And you will realize that love was never supposed to feel like confusion. But before that day arrives, you are being asked to build a relationship with yourself. Spend time understanding what you truly need in a connection. Learn your boundaries. Learn your standards. Learn to walk away from anything that does not honor your peace. This is how you break old patterns and create new ones. My beloved child, you are not alone, even when it feels quiet. Every step you take toward your own healing is supported. Every moment you choose self-respect over attachment is celebrated. Every time you remind yourself of your worth, you are aligning with the life meant for you. You are not missing out by letting them go. You are making space for something better. And something better does not always mean another person immediately. Sometimes it means a stronger mind. Sometimes it means deeper self-love. Sometimes it means clarity about your purpose. All of these things are forms of love that will stay with you far longer than any temporary connection. My beloved child, you are becoming someone who no longer needs to chase closure, because you create your own peace. You are becoming someone who no longer waits for validation, because you recognize your own value. You are becoming someone who no longer fears silence, because you have learned how to be comfortable within it. That is transformation. And this transformation will influence every area of your life, your relationships, your decisions, your confidence, your future. The pain you felt was not meaningless. It was shaping you into someone wiser, stronger, and more self-aware. One day you will tell your story not with sadness, but with gratitude for the lesson. My beloved child. Let this be the moment you fully release the last thread that ties you to their absence. Not by forcing yourself to forget, but by choosing to move forward with love for yourself. Close the door gently. Not with anger. Not with regret. But with understanding. They were part of your journey, not your destination. Your destination is a life where you feel valued, where your presence is appreciated, where your heart is safe, where your love is returned. And that life is already unfolding. Keep walking toward it. Keep choosing yourself. Keep trusting the process that has brought you this far. Because, my beloved child, you were never meant to be someone's option. You were meant to be someone's certainty. My beloved child. By now your heart is quieter than it once was. The storm that used to rise at the mention of their name has softened into a distant echo. You still remember, but you no longer tremble. You still feel, but you are no longer controlled by those feelings. This is the peace you were searching for in them, and now you are finding it within yourself. There was a time when you thought moving on meant forgetting. But moving on is not forgetting, it is remembering without pain. It is being able to look back and say, that was a chapter that taught me who I am and what I deserve. And you are reaching that point now, step by step, breath by breath. My beloved child. You are no longer waiting for a message. You are no longer checking for signs. You are no longer building your day around the possibility of their attention. Your energy is returning to your dreams, your goals, your growth. This is how your life begins to open again. Do you feel the difference? The way your mind feels clearer. The way your heart feels lighter. The way your days are no longer centered around someone who was never consistent. This is your freedom. You once believed that letting go would break you, but instead it is rebuilding you. You are discovering your independence, your strength, your ability to stand alone without feeling lonely. You are learning that solitude is not emptiness, it is space for your true self to breathe. My beloved child. You have stopped romanticizing what hurt you. You have stopped rewriting the past to make it feel better than it was. You are seeing things as they truly were, moments of connection mixed with confusion, warmth mixed with distance, hope mixed with uncertainty. And with this clarity comes acceptance. Acceptance is the final step of healing. It does not mean you approve of what happened. It does not mean you would choose it again. It simply means you understand that it was part of your growth and you are ready to move forward without carrying its weight. My beloved child. You are no longer asking why they could not love you the way you needed. You are asking a new question: how can I love myself better? And that question is changing everything. You are setting boundaries. You are valuing your time. You are protecting your peace. You are choosing connections that feel mutual and respectful. This is how you rewrite your story. And because you have learned these lessons, the future will not repeat the past. You will recognize inconsistency early. You will walk away from confusion sooner. You will not lose yourself trying to keep someone else. That is your power now. My beloved child. There will come a moment when you realize you have not thought about them for an entire day. Then an entire week. And when the memory finally appears, it will feel distant, like something that happened to a previous version of you. You will smile gently, not because you miss them, but because you are proud of how far you have come. You will understand that they were not the love of your life, they were the lesson that led you to the love of your life, starting with yourself. My beloved child. The space they left behind is no longer a wound. It has become a place where new light enters. New friendships, new opportunities, new confidence, new dreams. Your world is expanding again, and this time it is not centered around one person. It is centered around your purpose. You are beginning to live for yourself, not for someone else's attention. And this is where true happiness begins. My beloved child. When the right person enters your life, you will not feel the chaos you once felt. You will feel calm. You will feel safe. You will feel seen without having to ask. They will not disappear and return. They will not make you question your place. They will stand beside you with clarity and respect. And you will be ready for that love because you have learned how to give it to yourself first. You will no longer accept less. You will no longer chase uncertainty. You will no longer settle for confusion. You will choose what chooses you. My beloved child. This journey was never about losing someone. It was about finding yourself. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt brought you closer to your own truth. And your truth is this: you are worthy of consistent love, clear communication, and genuine effort. Do not forget this lesson. Carry it with you as a quiet strength. You are not the same person who once waited for their message. You are someone who values their own time. Someone who honors their own heart. Someone who understands their own worth. That is your transformation. My beloved child. Now walk forward without looking back. Not because the past was meaningless, but because your future is calling you towards something greater. Let your focus be on your growth. Let your energy be on your purpose. Let your heart be open to what is real and aligned. You are no longer standing at a closed door. You are walking toward open paths. And I am with you in every step. In your confidence, in your healing, in your new beginnings. Because my beloved child, you were never meant to wait for someone to choose you. You were always meant to choose yourself. My beloved child. You have reached a place in your journey where the silence no longer feels like abandonment. It feels like clarity. What once felt like something being taken away from you now feels like something being given to you: your time, your energy, your self-respect, your peace. You are no longer asking, "Why did this happen to me?" You are beginning to say, "This happened for me." And that shift is sacred. There was a time when you would have accepted a single message from them as enough to reopen the door. You would have ignored the past, ignored the confusion, ignored your own pain just to feel their presence again. But now you are different. Now you understand that temporary attention is not the same as genuine care. You are no longer starving for crumbs when you were always worthy of a full table. My beloved child, you are learning the language of self-respect. It is quiet, but powerful. It is the voice that tells you, do not go where you are only tolerated. It is the strength that stops your hands when you are tempted to reach out. It is the wisdom that reminds you that peace is more valuable than curiosity. This new version of you does not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to show them that you have changed. You do not need them to see your growth. Your growth is for you, not for their validation. And because of this, you are finally free. My beloved child, look at how your life is expanding now. You are thinking about your future again. You are investing in your own happiness. You are noticing the people who truly show up for you. You are building routines that make you stronger. You are becoming someone who is rooted in their own worth. This is the life that was waiting for you beyond that attachment. You were never meant to stay stuck in a cycle of waiting and wondering. You were meant to create, to explore, to grow, to love without fear. And now you are returning to that path. My beloved child, do not be surprised if one day they do reach out. Sometimes people return when they feel your energy is no longer chasing them. But if that moment comes, you will not feel the same pull. You will not feel the same urgency. You will see clearly whether their presence aligns with your peace. And you will have the strength to choose what is right for you, not what feels familiar. Because you are no longer the person who confuses familiarity with destiny. My beloved child, your heart is healing in layers. Each layer reveals a stronger, wiser version of you. You are learning that love should not require you to lose sleep, to doubt yourself, to overthink every interaction. Love should feel like support, not stress. Like clarity, not confusion. Like mutual effort, not one-sided giving. You are raising your standards, and that is a beautiful thing. The right people will not be intimidated by your boundaries. They will respect them. They will meet your effort with effort. They will value your presence without needing to be reminded. And when those people enter your life, you will recognize them not by the intensity of the emotion, but by the stability of the connection. My beloved child, you have stopped measuring your worth by who stays and who leaves. You understand now that someone's inability to love you properly is not a reflection of your value. It is simply a reflection of their readiness. This understanding has set you free from self-doubt. You are no longer asking, "What did I do wrong?" You are saying, "I did my best, and that is enough." And it is enough. My beloved child, the love you gave was real. The effort you made was genuine. The patience you showed was sincere. None of that was wasted. It was shaping your capacity to love deeply, to care honestly, to commit fully. Those qualities are still within you, and they will be received by someone who knows how to honor them. You have not lost your ability to love. You have refined it. Now you will love with boundaries. You will love with awareness. You will love without abandoning yourself. That is growth. My beloved child. You are stepping into a chapter where you are the main focus of your own life. Your goals matter. Your peace matters. Your happiness matters. Your healing matters. You are no longer placing someone else at the center of your world while you stand on the edges. You are standing at the center now. And from this place, everything changes. You attract different energy. You make different choices. You build different relationships. You create a different future. This is the reward for choosing yourself. My beloved child. Let this be your final understanding: you were never being denied love. You were being guided away from a form of connection that could not sustain you. Real love does not require you to question your place. Real love does not leave you feeling uncertain. Real love does not come and go. Real love stays. And the first place it must stay is within you. So continue forward with your head high and your heart open. Not open to the past, but open to the possibilities that align with your growth. Trust that everything you went through was preparing you for something better. You are no longer waiting. You are living. You are growing. You are becoming. And I am with you in every step you take toward the life that reflects your true worth. Because, my beloved child, you did not lose them. You found yourself. My beloved child. Now your journey has become quieter, softer, and more grounded. The urgency that once lived inside your heart has been replaced by a gentle knowing. You are no longer trying to force answers, no longer trying to chase clarity from someone who could not give it. You have stepped into your own clarity. This is what healing looks like, not loud, not dramatic, but steady and real. You wake up and your first thought is no longer about them. You move through your day and you are present in your own life. You are laughing again without feeling guilty for being happy. You are planning your future without imagining whether they will be part of it. This is freedom, my child, and you have earned it through your patience and your courage. My beloved child. There was a time when you believed that their absence created an emptiness in your life. But now you see that what you were really feeling was the space where your own love had not yet been placed. And slowly, gently, you have begun to fill that space yourself. You are speaking to yourself with kindness. You are allowing yourself to rest. You are honoring your emotions without letting them control you. You are choosing peace even when memories appear. This is self-love in its purest form. My beloved child. You are no longer trying to understand their behavior. You are no longer analyzing what went wrong. You have accepted that some questions do not need answers for you to move forward. This acceptance has released you from the cycle of overthinking. You now understand that closure is not a conversation. It is a decision. A decision to stop reopening what has already ended. A decision to stop searching for meaning in what was inconsistent. A decision to stop giving your energy to someone who is no longer part of your path. And you have made that decision, even if you did not realize it in one single moment. My beloved child. Your energy feels different now. There is a calm confidence in you. You are not trying to prove your worth to anyone. You are not trying to be chosen. You are choosing yourself. And when you choose yourself, everything changes. You attract people who respect your time. You create boundaries without fear. You walk away from what disturbs your peace. You invest in what helps you grow. This is the version of you that was waiting to emerge. My beloved child. Do not be afraid of how strong you have become. Strength does not mean you will stop feeling. It means you will no longer be controlled by what you feel. You will allow emotions to pass through you without losing yourself in them. You are learning emotional balance. You can remember without longing. You can feel without reacting. You can care without reconnecting. That is true healing. My beloved child. There is something beautiful ahead of you, not just in love, but in every part of your life. Opportunities that you could not see before will begin to appear. Your focus will become sharper. Your confidence will help you take steps that once felt impossible. All of this was waiting for you on the other side of letting go. The time you once spent worrying will now be spent creating. The energy you once spent missing them will now be spent building your future. The love you once gave to them will now be given to your dreams. This is your transformation. My beloved child. And when love enters your life again, it will not feel like a question. It will feel like an answer. You will not feel anxious about where you stand. You will not feel the need to chase. You will not feel confused about their intentions. You will feel secure. Because you will no longer accept anything less. You have learned to recognize the difference between attention and effort, between words and actions, between temporary and lasting. These lessons will guide you without you even trying. My beloved child. You are no longer attached to the past version of yourself who waited. You honor that version with compassion, but you do not live there anymore. You live in the present, where your power exists. And your power is this: you know your worth. No silence can reduce it. No absence can question it. No rejection can define it. It is yours. My beloved child. So walk forward without hesitation. Continue building a life that feels good to you. Continue surrounding yourself with people who see your value. Continue choosing peace over chaos. You do not need to look back to confirm that you have moved on. Your peace is the confirmation. And I am proud of you. For every moment you resisted the urge to go back, for every time you chose dignity over desire, for every step you took toward your own healing. Because, my beloved child, you have not only let go of someone who could not love you fully, you have stepped into a life where you love yourself completely.